many times did you have sex with this friend of his?
Multiple times. My godmother, we used to be on the porch, like just when she was doing people's hair, we used to be on the porch. She was like, you pregnant, you pregnant. I used to be like, stop jinxing me. And one day I went to the clinic and I found out I was 5 months pregnant.
What was once a romantic teenage love is now a legal case. Miss Whitaker summons Mr. Schruel, her teenage lover and ex-boyfriend, to court to prove that he's Brinley's father. She believes he's having doubts about fathering her 2-year-old baby due to his mother. Is the defendant truly a mama's boy? Let's find out together.
Ms. Whitaker, you've summoned Mr. Schruel to court to prove that he is the father of 2-year-old daughter Brinley. You say that Mr. Schruel has doubt only because of his conniving, and you want him to man up and take care of his responsibilities. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Schruel, you claim you are not Brinley's father, and once you prove your case,
As the hearing commences, the young lady says she believes his mother is the reason behind him rejecting her baby because he's a mama's boy. Hilariously, he confirms that he's indeed a mama's boy. Also, he admits that there were times his mother did interfere in their relationship, but it was to protect him. Okay, this is interesting.
He's a mama's boy. She has never done anything but come in between our relationship. Even when we were having fights in our relationship, she was always in the middle of it. It was never just me and him, it was me, him, and his mom.
are you a mama's boy, Mr. Schruel?
Yes, Your Honor, I am.
I know that's right. Say it loud and proud. So do you believe your mother has come in between your relationship with Miss Whitaker?
Miss Whitaker tells the court that their relationship was beautiful when it started. Both of their parents were okay with the young couple spending nights together. At one point, Mr. Schruel and his mom moved in with her and her mom. Both parents were aware that their kids were having sex several times a day and had dropped out of junior high school. Sounds like babies having babies, right? Let's dig in for more.
When you started dating, your parents let you spend the night together?
Yes.
At each other's homes?
Yes. At one point, we were completely living together. Him and his mother moved into my house with me and my mother. And
What? They moved into the house with you and your mother?
Yes, ma'am.
And you all were having sex and both mothers knew it?
Yes.
I've never heard of such.
Their relationship became sour when Miss Whitaker's mom passed away and she was moved to a foster home. When she turned 18, she went to live with her parents' family, and that drove them further apart. The young man claims she always accused him of cheating even though he was faithful to her. He would respond saying she accused him because she had a guilty conscience. Eventually, she confessed that she cheated on him.
What had happened? Her mom had passed away.
Okay.
And she got put in a foster home, and once she turned
Okay.
18, she went with family.
I'm sorry to hear that, Miss Whitaker.
Thank
Very
you.
sorry.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And so at that time, you all were separated. You were no longer living together.
I was fed up with it. I was getting constant cheating, and I never once cheated on her.
The young woman claims her alleged baby father is hiding the truth. According to her, when her mom died, she was a few months away from clocking 18 and was at a foster home for a few months. Once she was 18, she moved in with her religious aunt, who gave her a tough time because she was pregnant. Also, Mr. Schruel's mom wouldn't allow him to accompany her to the doctor's appointments.
Did you admit it, Miss Whitaker?
Yes, I did. First, Your Honor. No, that's not how all of this happened. That's not how we separated.
Okay, let me hear your side of it.
When my mother died, I got taken into DHR custody. I was only 17. I was 8 months from being 18. Anyway, they put me with my aunt, and me and Christian were fighting all the time. I was hormonal. I was pregnant. His mother refused to let him come to my doctor's appointments.
Mrs. Schruel steps upon the podium and claims that she wasn't against their relationship, but was never okay with them having sex at a tender age. She says their sexual exercises started at the late Mrs. Whitaker's home, which was against her satisfaction, and she never allowed them to do so in her house.
Schruel's mother, give
Because
your side of the story.
Them staying together and sleeping together was never okay with me. This started at her house, and I begged her mother, please don't let this happen. It's not happening at my house. Y'all are too young for this kind of relationship. Her mother couldn't do anything with her.
In addition to her testimony, Mrs. Schruel says she doubts if Brinley is her granddaughter because Miss Whitaker confessed to her 7 times that she slept with other men. But the young woman denies she ever told her that, and she only slept with one other man before she got pregnant.
The baby was your grandchild?
I did because my son believed.
No, you didn't. You
he
told me from the
was.
beginning that's not his child.
Not until she admitted to me 7 times that she cheated.
7 times cheating.
Yes, she told me there were 7 possibilities.
7
Oh,
possible
God. Oh, my Lord.
other fathers?
To back her claims of Mr. Schruel being the father of her kid, she provides the court with her conception date on a calendar. She marked each day she had sex with her alleged baby father and the man she cheated on him with. Also, she provided a sonogram that confirms the day she conceived.
Until August 30th. My mom didn't die until August 28th. I think I would remember this. This is why I remember this so clearly, because it was the most traumatic event I'd been through.
You show that you had sex with Mr. Schroll all of these days, but then you had sex with another man somewhere around the 14th.
Yes.
You also have the 8th circle. Explain this.
However, Mr. Schrull doesn't agree with her claims. Also, he adds that he found out that she slept with other men besides the man she confessed about. How did he find out? He says his mom told him because Miss Whitaker confessed to her. If she indeed slept with other men, would she trust her boyfriend's mother enough to tell her about it? There's more to this than it meets the eye.
It came out to me after she was pregnant. It came out that there are more than one possibility.
When did this come out?
This came out when she was maybe 3-4 months pregnant.
How did it come out?
She told her.
And that's a load of crap.
Y'all just having sex. Y'all know what you doing.
Exactly.
You have no clue. Just kids engaging in adult activity.
The day Brinley was born, Mr. Schrull claims he wanted to be at the hospital, but Miss Whitaker's boyfriend threatened him over the phone. However, she cuts in saying her boyfriend never threatened him. Also, her boyfriend signed the birth certificate. Now this is getting interesting.
Talk all big over the phone and say how he's gonna kick my butt and all
My
this.
boyfriend never threatened you at
Wait a
all.
minute. When did we get a boyfriend?
After we had separated, I had started dating someone else.
Are you on the birth certificate?
No,
No,
ma'am.
I go there. He cuts the umbilical cord. He's on
He
the
didn't
birth
even cut the
certificate.
umbilical cord.
The boyfriend's name's on the birth certificate?
Yes, Your Honor.
If Brinley isn't her boyfriend's baby, why let him sign the birth certificate? But could Mr. Schrull be the baby's biological father? Let's find out together.
Mr. Schroll, you are her father.
I am. I apologize for everything. I really do. I'm sorry I put you through this.
I'm just so happy after 2 years, you finally know you can finally start being there.
And I will be.
Give her a hug.
Would you be willing to give me a hug?
Can I give you a hug, Lindsay, please?
How does one believe that his father could be responsible for his girlfriend's pregnancy? That's the subject of today's case as Mrs. Marsh sues her ex, Mr. Belding, for having doubts about the paternity of her daughter, Jordan. The defendant, however, requests a lie detector test to determine the extent of his ex-girlfriend's relationship with his father. Let's find out if Mr. Belding is right about his bizarre accusations.
Mr. Belding and his mother have made false accusations about the paternity of your 3-year-old daughter, Jordan.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Belding, you're here with your mother. You claim little Jordan's biological father may be your own father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Whoa. So you've also petitioned the court for a lie detector test for Ms. Marsh to determine the extent.
As the hearing commences, the accuser clarifies that she didn't live with the defendant's father alone, but with her mom. Also, she adds that he slept in a different room from where her and mom slept.
Excuse me, Your Honor, it was with me and my mom, as a matter of fact, and he slept in a totally different room. It was a 3-bedroom house. We never
was the
slept in
first
same
house.
room.
Yeah.
And
There's
we've
been
always had
several.
more than 3 rooms.
Okay, but I have to ask, Ms. Marsh, out of all the places you could live,
He had nowhere to go. Literally, I asked his sister, and his sister said, no, I'm not going to let
So,
a
Mr.
man I
Belding-
call my dad.
Mr. Belding tells the court that several of his friends in Indiana told him they had slept with Miss Marsh. Is this enough to make him believe she slept with his dad? Also, another man did a paternity test on Jordan a while ago before the court hearing, but the results showed she isn't his. Perhaps Mr. Belding has enough reasons to believe he's not the baby's father. Well, there is no other way to find out.
you're not the biological father of her child.
Just when I moved back to Indiana, there was a bunch of my friends that had said she had slept with them
No,
after she had
excuse me.
slept with me.
Excuse me, Your Honor.
Excuse
No,
me
that's
too,
not
Your
it.
Honor. She's
That's
already
not
had
it.
one man tested before Zach.
I didn't have him tested. He had her tested. I told him not
Because
to do
she
it.
told us that it was a
I still have-
possibility to begin
I have
with.
all the proof of that. I know who the father of my daughter is, and it is this man right here.
The atmosphere in the courtroom gets turned up when Mr. Belding says if she believes he's the baby's father, why have another man sign the birth certificate? However, defending herself, Miss Marsh defends herself presenting the birth certificate, and it isn't signed by anyone. The accuser and the defendant started dating in high school and were both 14 at that time. Although the relationship went on for years, it was off and on.
If she thinks I'm the father, why did she have another man sign the birth certificate?
Excuse me, ma'am. I have the birth certificate. I have the birth certificate right here. No other man.
Okay,
on this
can I
birth
say it's
certificate.
because she lies to us all the time?
Jerome,
We don't
let
know
me
what
see
to
that
believe.
birth certificate.
There's no other
Okay.
man
Because
on
she's
this
such a
birth
liar.
certificate.
While I'm looking at this birth certificate.
Yes, ma'am.
Met in high school
14 years old.
at 14.
Yes.
The young woman got pregnant when she moved to Georgia to live with the young man and his dad as she wanted to join the military. Mr. Belding cuts in saying he was surprised to see her because he had no idea his dad had called her to come over. Afterward, his dad left him in Georgia to go live with the accuser. However, she defends herself saying he had nowhere else to go.
So it was off and on for years.
Sexual thing.
But during this time you were together, that's when you got pregnant?
Yes.
No.
It was after I had moved to Georgia to live with him and his dad to
And
join
that-
the military.
That was totally a surprise too. I didn't know she was coming.
Her dad, his
My
dad did
had
that.
called her down.
Zachary didn't want nothing to do with her. His dad sent
It's
for her
funny
down
because
there.
I still have messages on my mom's phone from him saying, "Baby, I can't wait till you get here."
This case keeps getting better and better as the accuser and the defendant and his mother were firing shots at each other. But is Mr. Belding Jordan's biological father? If he's not, could his father be responsible for her? Let's unravel the truth together.
Mr. Belding Sr., you are not Jordan's father.
Thank you.
Mr. Belding Jr., you are her father.
Thank you.
That's my baby, not yours.
Think so.
Mine.
You think
Stay
so?
right here.
Mine.
Stay right
Think
here.
so.
I got rights now.
Yes, you do, sir.
Oh yeah.
When you allow 14-year-old kids the license to have sexual relationships, expect babies to have babies. Today's case has Miss Shands suing Mr. Amir Hollis regarding the paternity of her 15-month-old son, Aiden. But the defendant and his mom, Mrs. Hollis, are in court to testify against the accuser's claims. Let's dig in to find out if the young woman is right about her claims.
Here in court today because you are devastated that your first love and the person you lost your virginity to is now denying your 15-month-old son, Aiden. You say once you prove to the defendant that he is the father, you hope you two can finally be a family. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Hollis says he doubts if he's the baby's daddy because he caught the young lady cheating on him multiple times. However, Miss Shands defends herself, saying she was close with his friend because he once told her Mr. Amir was cheating on her with a friend of hers.
And so, Mr. Hollis, tell the court why you say she's a pathological liar.
I caught this Irish cheating so many times, like it don't make no sense. Like it just after middle school, like after when we hit high school, everything was going straight. Like her freshman year, but after that, like when we had got into that one argument, we broke up, and then that was that. And she started messing with my homeboy, and she started messing with multiple people.
The accuser claims she slept with one of her ex-boyfriend's friends because he slept with hers. Well, this sounds like some classic revenge sex. Defending her son, Mrs. Hollis says he had noticed something fishy about the accuser's friendship with her son's best friend while they were dating. She adds that she called her son's attention to it, but he didn't see anything wrong with their friendship at that time.
But I thought it was cool to go mess with one of his friends because he have slept with one of mine. We both had made a mistake.
No.
We both made
No,
a mistake.
that's not how it is.
Nowhere
That's not how it was.
All right.
This is really what went on. All of them would be at my house every weekend. His friend, that's the other guy that she messed around with, and they would be there all the time.
Miss Shands tells the court she didn't use protection when she cheated on Mr. Hollis multiple times and they started dating. During these intimate moments, she and the defendant had broken up. Eventually, she found out that she was 5 months pregnant.
And then how many times did you have sex with this friend of his?
Multiple times.
Multiple times. But were you also still being intimate with Mr. Hollis?
No, we
had broke up. When me and his friend had an affair, we wasn't together. We was not together at all.
An affair. So eventually you find out you're pregnant. Take me to that day.
My guy.
While she was dating the defendant's friend, she cheated on him with the defendant as well. Now, this is getting more interesting. After she got pregnant, she told the Hollis family that there could be a possibility that Mr. Amir could be her baby's father.
When she was going with my friend, she was still sneaking around with me anyway because I felt like he did it to me, so y'all together, I'm finna go and do what I gotta do.
Yes, okay, yeah, that did happen as well.
So you were sleeping with both boys at the same time?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you find out you're pregnant. You tell the other guy first. What was his response?
Well, he was happy.
And so you also tell Mr. Hollis?
I told him like...
On the day of Aiden's delivery, Mr. Hollis's friend, whom she left him for, was with her at the hospital. However, the defendant didn't know she was in labor until the last minute.
When you give birth, who was with you?
The friend was with me when Aiden was born.
In the hospital?
In the hospital. In labor.
In labor.
And my mom, I sent my mom there because I knew there was a possibility that my son could be the dad as well. He favored my son when he was born.
So wait, and so Mr. Hollis, you just didn't want to be there, or you felt like you weren't invited?
I wasn't never invited. Like anything I ever found out about the baby, I found out by myself. Like
Miss Shands claims she believes Mr. Amir Hollis is her baby's father because they look more alike than the other guy in the picture. Also, Mr. Hollis says she FaceTimed her after the baby was born and confirmed that he looks like her son.
My baby have more futures than the other guy.
Yes, he did.
He look
I'm just
nothing
trying
like
to
the
protect
other
my
guy
son.
at all.
I FaceTimed her and told her that it looked like I said, Aiden looks like Amir.
And what did she say, Mom?
It's a possibility.
It's difficult to tell who Aiden's biological biological father is when two young men had sex with his mom multiple times. That's why we need to hear the results of the DNA test.
Mr. Hollis, you are not the father. I see tears in your eyes, Miss Shan, because I know how desperately you wanted Mr. Hollis to be Aiden's biological father. Their families formed a bond with your son, but unfortunately now we know the truth.
Yes.
You're a beautiful young woman, but I do not like the way you've been operating.
From teenage best friends, to teenage lovers, to lawsuits, this young couple have been through it all. Miss Lohman is suing Mr. Mitchell, her fiancé, for the paternity of her daughter, London. The defendant, however, has doubts of him being the baby's biological father, and if he's not, their upcoming wedding is off. Oh dear. This is how the court case went.
Ms. Lohman, you are in court today hoping and praying your fiancé, Mr. Mitchell, is the biological father of your daughter, London, and you and your mother are here to prove it. You say today's DNA results will determine the future of your family together. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Apparently, Mr. Mitchell's doubts about being London's biological father surfaced when the accuser admitted that there's a possibility that he isn't the baby's father.
I don't think she is.
But you've
Everything
also told him
points
that
to her.
she's not, so...
No, I have never actually told Jonathan that he was not. I told him there was a possibility that he might not be, but I have never for sure told him he hasn't been.
So talk to me about the nature of your relationship.
We met when we were sophomores in high school. Junior year, we had a lot of classes together, so we became really good friends.
When their relationship started, Miss Lohman had a boyfriend, and the defendant was living with her and her parents. Although she tried to shut him off when he made advances towards her, she couldn't because she fell in love with him whilst having a boyfriend. Did she break up with the boyfriend after her relationship with Mr. Mitchell started? I guess we will find out soon enough.
Boyfriend at the time.
He moves in, and then what happened?
After about 2 months of him living with me and my family, we were sitting on the couch one day just talking, and he kissed me. And I told him, you know, I have a boyfriend, we can't do this. And he just kind of shrugged it off and said, okay.
Okay, so at that point, Mr. Mitchell was just your friend?
Yes, Your Honor. About a week after that, we were in the pool, and we were swimming under the water, and he kissed me under the water, and I came up.
According to Miss Lohman, the dude she was dating before her romantic relationship with the defendant started didn't know they had a thing going on. The accuser was sleeping with both men, and although the other man knew nothing of this, Mr. Mitchell was well aware 9F what he got into. The other man, now her ex-boyfriend, believed that he was London's biological father until they broke up and he
Ship with this boyfriend at the time, am I correct, Ms. Lohman?
Yes, Your Honor.
So what was that situation like?
He never found out, and to this day, he still doesn't know.
He does not know to this day that you were also sleeping with Mr. Mitchell.
Right, Your Honor.
Was this just a one-time thing when you all ended up having sex, or did it continue?
It continued.
Were you using protection?
No, Your Honor.
disappeared. When the defendant found out that the accuser was pregnant, he wasn't sure of what to think. He didn't know for sure if he's the baby's daddy or not. Miss Lohman claims she was still dating her ex when she told Mr. Mitchell about the possibility of him being her baby.
So, Mr. Mitchell, do you remember finding out Miss Lohman was pregnant?
Yes, Your Honor.
When you found that out, what were you thinking?
I didn't know what to think. I didn't know if it was mine or his.
At that point, were you all dating now, you and Ms. Lohman?
Yes, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor. We were not dating at the time. I told him there was a possibility. I was still with my ex at the time.
His father. The young woman says she believes the baby is the defendant's because she had more sex with him when the pregnancy was conceived than her ex. Does she understand that this isn't a numbers game? I doubt that.
I had went to the doctor and confirmed that I was pregnant. And then on my second doctor's appointment, I asked, do you have an estimate of when I conceived? Because I can't tell you the exact date. And she told me I conceived somewhere between October 12th and October 22nd. And I got to looking back at dates, and I had sex with Mr. Mitchell more times than I had sex with my ex. I had sex with Mr. Mitchell about every day and only once or twice with my ex.
Now we understand why Mr. Mitchell doubts if he's London's biological father. But are his doubts correct? How do we know if he's the baby daddy or the other guy? There's only one way to find out.
Mr. Mitchell, you are not the father. Miss Lohman, I can tell that was not the news you were expecting to hear.
No, Your Honor.
Are we certain? Is your ex London's biological father, or is there another possibility that we just have not spoken about yet?
No, Your Honor, there is no other possibility.